Want to go boom and also want to poke?
Huh?
Okay, yeah, kind of weird. I know, I get it. But once again, Outlands released something new, the Alchemy codex. And with that has opened up a lot of versatility and tons of different templates. One of them being the poison Dexxer. Today, I wanted to chat a little bit about the Volatile poison Dexxer. That's right, this one's tons of fun. I do want to warn you guys, though, that it is high in offense and low in defense. That's right, it's one of those glass cannon builds that does tons and tons of damage, but man, it can struggle if something strong starts hitting it. But with that, guys, comes tons of fun. So sit back, grab yourself a beer, and let's talk about it. All right, starting off with the template, Alchemy at 120. Now, only 80 is needed for the Alchemy Codex, which we will get into later, but we want maximum effectiveness of our potions in terms of healing, damage output, and utility. There's lots to discuss here. First off, our healing and cure potions are affected by our alchemy skill level. When we use total refresh potions at 120, we can walk through creatures and players for the next 10 seconds for 0 stamina cost. Also, having 80 allows us as Dexxers to sticky a purple potion to a creature without casting telekinesis. Words of caution though, if you are line of sighted from the creature or maybe you're too far away, what can happen is the potion will not stick to the creature and instead stick to you. This will end up making you take the damage, and if another player is around you, you could flag gray. So be very, very careful. After that comes poisoning at 120. Now, this and taste ID are what helps us to have higher poison damage. Since we are pushing for poison stings and we want lethal poison, let's push this to 120. Next up is taste ID at 120, same as above. It helps with damage. Also, taste ID helps further the effectiveness of our food, giving us faster swing speed. Tactics at 100. Our physical damage is important, so we went with 100. But I think you could get away with 80 if you have lots of poison damage links. Focus at 100. In the most recent videos, I have mentioned how important this skill is, and I'm not joking. Giving us swing speed and accuracy, as well as increasing our swing speed cap. So yeah, we're sticking with 100 here. Fencing at 80. If you're doing this at low aspect, you may want this to be at 100. But around 10, you should be okay to start dropping this to 80. Just be cautious of what difficulty monsters you're fighting and their wrestling skill. Adjust accordingly to your aspect and farming spots. The cripple weapon special should help with the accuracy as well. That being said, fencing is the go-to for a poisoner, especially due to its codex, which we will go over shortly. Arms lore at 40, listen, hear me out here, okay? I know this part's weird, but arms lore increases the rate at which you get to use your weapon abilities. This means more Banes, which means tremendous amounts of more damage. Just stick with me on what Banes are, we'll go over them on the weapon codex part. Next up though is healing at 40. This is just enough healing to supplement your potions. Your main source of healing will be your potions, but this will give you some healing as a supplement as well. Remember, the idea of this template is that of a glass cannon. High damage and very limited defense. As far as the aspect goes, I mean, let's be honest, poison armor and weapon, come on. Poison armor gives us damage bonus to poison targets, and our targets will be poisoned. It gives us a chance to resolve an additional poison tick, which means more damage and also increases our effective poisoning and taste ID skill. So more poison damage as well as more swing speed. The weapon proc is Toxicity, which will do damage as well as resolve poison ticks of any creature within a 6-tile radius based on your aspect level. Alright, on to the codexes. Come on, here's the juice. Let's start with the weapon codex. For the fencing codex, we went with Fang. On paper, to me, it was the obvious choice. Damage increase 6.5% per rank if your weapon is poisoned. Our weapon's poisoned, so that's a lot of damage. Is there an argument for Blackguard? There could be. Defensive is something nice to switch to if you're in a bind or getting low on hit points. Damage resistance increases by 4% per rank for 5 seconds after a weapon swing. That's a juicy defensive stance. For the finisher, we went with Assassinate. It inflicts 400% damage and resolves an additional up to 500% damage additional worth of disease and poison ticks. The name checks out. For the weapon ability, we use Bane more often than not. It is awesome. Basically what it does is it immediately resolves 2 poison ticks if a player has an active weapon applied poison on a creature. Typically what I would do is just get them poisoned, immediately hit Bane, and let Arms Lore help recharge Bane so I can do it again. Alright, let's move on to the poison kit. 6 points in accumulation. Damage to poison targets is increased by 9%. Then we took 6 points in direct dose. This has a 45% chance when applying a new or upgraded poison to immediately resolve 1 tick. Enfeeble for 6 points. This gives us 18% much needed damage resistance versus a poison target. Targeted Venom at 1 point. This increases tick damage by 33% if we only have 1 poison effect active. Terminal at 1 point. This increases tick damage by 2% times the current tick count. Alright, let's get into this new Alchemy codex. Acrid for 6 points. I don't know, is that acrid or acrid? Either way, this is going to give our chance of resolving Poison Sting an increase of 30%. And as I said earlier, we want a ton of Poison Stings. The Bandolier for 1 point. This reduces potion usage cooldown by 1 second. Elixir for 1 point. Heal potions heal an additional 10% over the next 3 seconds. Mixed results for 6 points. Our duration of buff potions is increased 300%. This ends up being 47 minutes. We also receive 1.5% damage resistance per active potion. This ends up being 4.5% after we use our strength, magic resist, and agility. For the last 6 points, we did Volatile. That's right, 6 points in that for a purple potion damage increase by 30%. It also has a 30% chance to increase its radius by 1 tile. But really, we care about the damage. This, with our damage to poison creatures and 120 alchemy, really packs a punch. For the mastery chain, and for the sake of obviousness, as always, I'm not going to mention Slayer links. But I just did, so either way, poison damage if you can find them, or poison damage / resist ignore links are great. This increases both your poison tick damage as well as your poison sting damage. Melee swing speed. More swings means more chances for a poison sting and more chance to apply or upgrade poison. And then there's damage to poison creatures. You'll poison everything, so this will increase the damage of everything you do to it. Melee attacks, poison damage, poison stings, purple potions, yeah, you name it, as long as it's poisoned, it's increasing the damage. Very good link to have. Once again, this template is very heavily offensive and lacks a lot of defense. Make sure you understand the dungeon layout and monster spawns before you play this, as pulling an extra monster with this template can easily mean a death. This also would work great if you have a friend that can tank the monsters as you just obliterate them. Through testing, I did find 2 other templates I enjoyed for Poison Dexxer, and they are completely different playstyles. But I'll save those for another video in the future, or for you to comment below how you built out your Poison Dexxer. Shout out to the Patreons, the channel members, and you for liking this video, as it helps for discoverability for myself, but more importantly, UO Outlands and my fellow content creators and streamers. Make sure if you've got a video suggestion, you comment below, either there or in my Discord, and also come through the live streams most evenings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Facebook, and Twitter. That's right, 5 different platforms for you to choose from. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Pwn Star Gaming out.